Welcome to the Opinionated Benchwarmers Podcast, episode 205. Your opinionated benchwarmers are back to do what we do best, and that's discuss sports. Fellas, how y'all feeling coming off a wild card weekend?
Man, you know how I'm feeling. You know how I'm feeling. Our team is doing what they need to do. It was a close game, but we pulled it out. When I say my team, you guys know the Rams. So I'm feeling good about this divisional round against the Bears. So we'll see. I'm feeling good though.
Now, Ramon, when we was analyzing the matchups last week, he had a quick answer, just Rams in a short game. Now he want to get all analytical in the beginning of the
Right,
pod.
right. And more and more. We can wait to hear that. We don't have to hear that right now. Hear that later. But nah, man, I'm good on this end as well. Honestly, it really was a crazy wild card weekend. Like it was a lot of games for the books, a lot of games that ended up being pretty close, especially between Saturday and the earlier games on Sunday. So I'm not gonna hold it though. We can go ahead and get straight into it, man.
For sure, man. And we appreciate everybody that's listening to us. Make sure that you're subscribed to the podcast, wherever you like to listen to your podcast at. We're also on YouTube, so check us out. Hit the bell, get notified when we drop the content. Also, make sure that you subscribe as well on YouTube and share with a friend if you feel so inclined to do so. Gentlemen, I'm excited, man. It was a great weekend of football. I know that you can agree with that. It was some big matchups. We're gonna get into it though. We got to recap the wild card weekend. We got to get into some more coach movement. Aaron Rodgers, what about his future? And then we have to continue this thing going and predict what's going to happen next weekend. Gentlemen, I calculated it up. Ramon, you went 6-0 this past weekend with your predictions, man. How you feeling about that, man?
I'm feeling good. I was seeing them knocking them off one by one, and I was like, I think I'm rolling right now. So yeah, I feel good about it.
Los finished off 5-1. He almost had it, but he didn't believe in he believed in the Packers too much a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, you think about that game, right? The Packers led all game until
Yeah,
the end. The Bears have been a
Yeah.
team that's came back, which again, we have to be aware of. And I say we, the Rams, have to be aware of because the Bears are a team that they get down and they come back every time. So again, I was feeling good about that game. I thought the Packers had it, but the Bears just did what they did all year.
So me and Los are sitting at 5-1, and Ramon is at 6-0. We'll see what happens in these divisional rounds. We'll get to those predictions at the end of the pod. But no, let's not hold it up any longer. We want to jump into the recap, right? I promised to go in order this time, Los. I kind of got out of order last time with the games, but we're gonna go in order. We'll start off with the Rams and the Panthers. Just high level of your thoughts of did anything move the needle or stick out to you? I know Los has a lot to say about this one.
No, when I look at this game, I think the Panthers are an up and coming team. I think it's a team, especially as a Saints fan, that you need to be aware of these
Here we
Panthers.
go.
No, I'm serious because these Panthers are a team that one, I'll just take my hat off to Bryce Young, right? He was a guy that he was written off. You talk about early last year, he was a guy that we was talking about potentially releasing a bust and all those different things. But Bryce Young is a guy. I mean, I believe in the guy and what he's done and what he's shown. He's lethal, and I think he has a strong run game. He is very mobile. So I came out of that more impressed with him than anything. His poise in his first playoff game and going toe and toe with the soon to be MVP Matthew Stafford. It came down to the last 2 minutes and 39 seconds that a tip pass interception, that game is over with. You know what I mean? And the Panthers are moving on. So the Panthers are a team that I would not sleep on. I know they pretty much backed into the playoffs, but again, with more pieces, with more experience, and those weapons over there, Ted McMillan, he's the real deal. Jalen Coker, he's a real deal. Those guys over there, their running game, I like what they're doing over there, and I really left that game impressed with the Panthers. And coming into that game, they were 10-point dogs in that game, and they pretty much had the Rams on the ropes. So again, very impressed with Bryce Young and the Panthers. It's a team to watch out for going forward.
yeah. I mean, I echo pretty much some of the same sentiments. I really don't have to speak on it too long. My same thoughts were really going to be kind of hats off to Bryce Young, as you already really alluded to. I'll kind of take it from the end of, as we've talked about many times, you already kind of stated as well too. Think that Matthew Stafford is going to be the MVP of this season, and I think that what he was able to do and put on his shoulders at the end of that game you still never want to leave a little bit of time. When you have those kind of guys, those kind of veteran QBs in those situations, you never want to leave that amount of time. And so you saw him, of course, be able to march down the field and had a game-winning drive. And I think that, honestly, this is another thing that obviously we know we talk MVP this regular season, not postseason type stuff, but I think it's just another feather in the cap that's leading that way. So that was kind of the biggest thing for me.
Yeah, I mean, 34-31, very, very close game. Didn't expect the Panthers to be in that type of game. Los called it on the last podcast. Make sure that you check out the previous podcast to see if we know what we're talking about or not. We do. And what I was most concerned about, I mean, we all have chosen the Rams to win the Super Bowl. And when I look at the Rams, that's a team that can be passed on. Now, I don't know if you can run on them, but they can you can dice them up in the pass game. So that'll be something to look forward to as going throughout the playoffs. That was a concern of mine because, when you go to Caleb Williams, who I know we're going to talk about that matchup in a minute, but in the first half he was average, but in the second half he really started dicing them up, and I'll be interested to see if the Rams can get that cleaned up next week. But a good win. What a catch by Parkinson! I mean, that was an amazing catch, amazing throw. Stafford put it. I mean, we've seen this so many times throughout his career, the type of throws that he could make. But when you look at Parkinson, who's there, that's your backup tight end, Los. I don't.
Yeah, tight end too.
And I mean, to make a throw and for him to extend the way that he did, it was an amazing catch. It was fitting for that ending of the game. So those are my notes, and I also do. I don't want to sound like a mockingbird, but I do agree with you guys. Bryce Young really showed me something, and the Panthers did pick up his fifth-year option. It was announced today, so we'll see what the Panthers can do going forward. And then the next game we got here is the Packers versus the Bears. I'll make note to say that this game was played in Chicago. It was not played in Lambeau, Los. and But it was a good game. I mean, I look at this game. I think that I have to be respectful to Jordan Love. I've been very critical of him since he's been in the league. He's getting paid $50 million, one of the highest paid quarterbacks in the league. And I mean, to throw 323 yards and 4 touchdowns, he really showed me that he did everything he could to win. Unfortunately, the defense just let him down. And unfortunately, the Chicago Bears have a gentleman by the name of Caleb Williams, who just happened to be special on his team.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, you called it, man. Like you give a team, you let them hang around, you dominate the game, but you let a team hang around and you don't put them away. You set yourself up to get your feelings hurt. And again, you have to look at this team's history. They had 7 games just like this where they were down 1 or 2 touchdowns and came back and won the game. That's 7 games. That's almost half of their games this year. They've done improving that this year. So that goes to show you this is a dangerous team. No matter what the score is, you're up 21-0. You should never relax with this team because, again, they're going to keep fighting. They've shown this time after time all year.
Yeah, I think one thing that stuck out to me, in addition to everything that y'all have already said too, was the arrival of Colston Loveland on the big stage. I think that we kind of saw him come along more towards the second half of the season because obviously, there were a lot of talks about the slow start, and he really kind of picked it up towards the second half of the season, but he was almost unguardable, honestly, out there on Saturday. And so I thought that was a big thing, something to kind of keep your eyes on, as they continue forward, kind of in a playoff run. And just the big thing of what was it, a 15-point deficit that they overcame, I think, in the fourth quarter. Really big comeback. And it definitely seemed improbable for a while, but they were able to pull it off. And at a certain point, they just really could not, the Packers just could not get a stop at the end. They just could not get a stop.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's anything more to add. You hit the nail on the head there. Caleb Williams, though, the flashes that I'm seeing is scary. I mean, you give him 2 more seasons. He's not even in his prime yet. The throw that he made where where he just dislodged himself and just threw it a dart down for a critical. That was 4th and 11. He did that, right? It was 4th and 11.
It was a big time play, and I think that just his ability to improvise is finally really starting to translate to the pro level. Like you used to see these kind of plays in college, but the game was still a little bit fast for him, his rookie season. And you really start to see kind of this season, especially now in this potential playoff run, the game kind of slowing down and him able to be the Caleb Williams that he was projected to be that made him the first overall pick.
Then the intangibles. I mean, I was concerned about the body language in the first half. He was very frustrated. He couldn't get anything done, and he was very average. But the second half, he turned up, man, and a lot of respect. I think Caleb Williams is going to be very, very special. He showed the flashes. The next game we're moving on to was Saturday early game: Bills versus Jaguars. We each of us took the Bills and we had to sweat it out because the Jaguars came to play. The Jags are legitimate on defense. Unfortunately, I know that you guys will have a lot to say about this. They are failed by an average quarterback. I'm ready to call it. Trevor Lawrence is not the guy.
I mean, I am not all the way out on him like you, but again, I think the Jaguars. I think Liam doing a good job. I think when you think about the Jaguars and where they were last year, right, and you think where they finished this year at 13-4, like the reporter said, they really, really have nothing to put their head down about. I don't know if y'all seen the viral reporter talking to the head coach.
Yeah.
That I think that was special. Just from a human being standpoint, because again, this team finished hot. When you finish 13-4 and a chance to be the number one seed, I think that's something that's nothing to scuff at. And then they had all these games that we all similar, except the last two were trash. But before the last two games, all these games came down to one possession, right? They were right there in the mix to move on. And so I think that it's only up for the Jaguars. I'm really impressed with what they've done to finish this season and their record all year. Because again, I remember when we were talking about Trevor Lawrence, and we were talking about this team. It's like, man, they got so much talent, but not showing it. But this year, I think they put it together and made a run. So I'll be interested to see how they go forward.
Yeah, I agree. And I think the major difference with this one, like you were saying, I'm not totally out on Trevor Lawrence just yet. I don't believe in him being kind of an elite quarterback that he's going to catapult himself into a top 5, top 10 conversation at a certain point. But I think that he still is a really serviceable guy. But I think the difference here was that Josh Allen is a better quarterback, and I think that that's part of the belief that we've had in the Bills for this potential playoff run, because you don't really see many quarterbacks over there in the AFC that really are, even in that tier or close to that tier where Josh Allen is. And I think that that's ultimately where this one rests for me, was that Josh Allen was going to be able to pull it out. I thought that it was very interesting. What did they push him from, like the 10 or 11-yard line?
Yeah.
That was nuts. Yeah.
That's crazy. I feel like back in the day, they used to blow those plays dead, like quicker than they
Yeah,
do in this
exactly.
day and
Not
time. Like
now. Yeah.
back in the day, I feel like that would have been blown dead, but to be pushed in like that. But ultimately, I feel like it came down to that. Still was one of those stellar games this past weekend, because it just seemed like every game, as Lowe said, until the end, it was that one possession right at the end. But
I think we learned more about Trevor Lawrence as far as the turnovers that he had. I think it seems to me, I mean, he had a phenomenal wrap up of the season. He led his team to 8 straight wins. I can't take that away from him. But when the lights get bright, in which they were very, very bright, it seemed like Trevor Lawrence did shrink a little bit. The Jaguars defense is amazing. That defensive line is like they've been drafting, they've had number one picks on that defensive line. They've drafted really well. That defense is legit. And I think that if Trevor Lawrence could have gave them been a little bit more careful with the ball, I mean, we might be talking about this game a little differently, but I will say this. Man, Josh Allen is a guy. Not that we didn't know that already, but just to see him and not have a Patrick Mahomes, not to have a Lamar Jackson distraction. I mean, when you grade these quarterbacks right here, you really got Drake May up there. You got Jordan Love. You got shoot Josh Allen, obviously, and you got Caleb Williams up there. But I mean, if you were to rank them, Josh Allen, Caleb Williams, on down, I wouldn't be mad at you. But the guy, I mean, I'm gonna say this, guys. We all picked the Rams to win the Super Bowl, but when you look at how Josh Allen won that game this past weekend, I'm like, you just like, man, is this really about to happen? Josh Allen is finally about to clear it and get that Super Bowl.
Yeah, nah, I mean the guy looks special, and the thing that I would say on top of it as well too, as far as from a receiver standpoint, he's not working with any special talent
Uh-huh.
at wide receiver. Like these are guys that he's helping to elevate at this particular point. Of course, we know what he has in the backfield and James Cook, and that's kind of a run game that they really relied upon in this year, which it wasn't James Cook's best showing. Obviously in this game, but it just shows you the level that Josh Allen is playing at, where you have those great quarterbacks where they can make something out of nothing. And I don't think that when you look at his weapons, you would really look at those as even probably a mid-tier type of receiving weapons. Like it's probably, I hate to be disparaging in this sense, but it's probably a lower level receiving group, when we talk about rankings and pecking orders within the league. So he's really helping to elevate those guys.
Ramon, to add credence to what you're saying, Brandon Cooks played for the New Orleans Saints this season, if y'all ain't know. Look at his stats then. Now look at his stats that he had this past playoff game. He reignites and elevates the people around him. The next game we'll go to probably will take a whole episode, but we'll try to keep it short. And that's the 49ers and the Eagles. The Eagles delivered none other than drama as they have all season long. The 49ers finally put them out their misery. But first, we got to talk to Loso. Los had the 49ers, I mean, the Eagles winning this game. So what did you see out there, Los?
Man, I seen the team again, like you said, a disconnect all year. The offense has been disconnected. Like the running game, Saquon has not been himself. You know what I mean? He's has his running here, but what we saw with Saquon in their Super Bowl run last year, he was absolutely special. He didn't put any fear in anybody's heart this year. I think it was just Super Bowl hangover this year. And like I said, the chemistry was off with AJ Brown, and that's a whole nother story by itself. The chemistry is off with the head coach. That's a whole nother story by itself. Their offensive coordinator just got fired today, as we record this on Tuesday. So again, it was just a bunch of disconnect there, and it just bleeded onto the field when it came down to it, and them trying to push forward to win the game, and to end this thing. Right, they had a chance to go up, and they just couldn't do nothing with their chance, and I think they turned it over on downs to lose the game.
Yeah, I think, kind of one of the big pieces, as you pointed out, is this AJ Brown saga. And I know we saw that the drama that was associated with it. And I'm gonna just ask y'all straight up, like, what do y'all think? Is this gonna really work long term, or are they gonna have to potentially move AJ Brown? Like, do
They
you
got to
think it's
get him out of
sustainable?
there. They got to get him out of there. I mean,
I
I
think
think
so.
it's been brewing for a long time now. And, to see a head coach get in his star player's face like that and for him to argue in public, I don't care how Stefanski try. I mean, not Stefanski. I don't care how the head coach for the
Sirianni?
Eagles, Sirianni. I don't see how he could just stand up there and he could say all the right things in the press conference, but that relationship has been brewing. AJ been wanting out forever. But AJ, man, he had some key drops in that game that really cost him. I mean, Hurts didn't have the best game in the world, but yet alone, he hit him in the hands at least two times where he should have caught the ball and he didn't. So just too much of a distraction. If AJ wants out, get him out.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I agree.
But the other thing is Jalen Hurts. Real quickly, I'm gonna have to knock him down a little bit. I had him probably entering the season as the sixth best quarterback in the league. He might be sitting outside of the top 10 for me, and I don't know if it may be offensive play calling. It may be he doesn't run the ball like he used to. He's not accurate. He throws a decent deep ball, but he just hasn't been the guy that we've seen. And as a Super Bowl MVP candidate, I was disappointed in his performance in a big game like that.
Couldn't agree more there.
Yeah, no, I certainly agree. And then just to stay on the other side too, just to get the 49ers a little bit of credit, I think just the resurgence of CMC this year, what he's meant to that team all year, and to see him kind of continue producing like that, especially what he's meant in the receiving game for them. I think that it's been one of those elite receiving seasons that we've ever really seen for a running back, and seeing that kind of continue in the playoff run. I think he was their second leading receiver in this game. I think it's going to be interesting to kind of see them going forward without George Kittle. Obviously, with what happened in regards to that, so that's going to be very interesting as well too. And they continue run, but just wanted to at least mention the 49ers a little bit too, give them a little bit of love.
They deserve it. They deserve it. Hey, moving on. We have the Chargers and the Patriots. Not much to talk about here. Very boring game. Impressed by Drake May. Very underwhelming nightcap for Saturday night. I was disappointed, but yeah. I mean, I think the
Yeah.
Patriots did what they need to do.
Yep. Same.
Yeah, nothing to add.
All right, I love it. Look, so we wrapped it up on Monday night. Huge game, Pittsburgh Steelers versus
Houston Texans.
the Houston Texans. Man, this is an interesting game to me because people will look at that score and say, "Oh, 30-6, this was a blowout." You wake up in the morning. I watched that game. The Steelers were in that game for the majority of the game. Would you believe me if I said it was 6-7 in the third quarter, and then things just fell apart there? I mean, I took an L on this one. That's my one loss that I picked wrong in our pick 'em that we got going on right now. I was disgusted by what I saw about Pittsburgh on offense, man. That was ridiculous.
Yeah, they definitely shut them down, man. And it started off like they were going to be back and forth, that first drive, and then they stalled on the first drive, and then from there, one thing I will notice, and I think we talked about this offline, Rob, is the Texas defense is for real, and I think they showed that. They shut down the one thing that I think was successful for the Steelers the last few games, and that was the check down to the running back. I keyed in on that as I was, had a certain interest in that because they were shutting that down. They were coming up, they were making sure he didn't have that check down to those running backs. So, and that's been huge for them for the Steelers to move the ball. And so that was again the Texans, the cornerbacks over there. Derek Stingley. What's his name? Latim. I can't think of his name right now. But the other cornerback, number
Is
4.
Is it Lassiter or something?
Lassiter, that's his name. Yes,
Yeah,
both of those guys, all those guys are for real over there. And I think that defense, and I didn't even mention Will Anderson. I ain't even mentioned the defensive line.
Danielle Hunter.
First team all
Danielle Hunter. Yeah, I even mentioned. So again, this is a team. Offensively, I don't think they're special at all. I think they just do enough. But defensively, I think they're a special team. And I think, that's a team to watch out for, especially in this divisional round.
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, y'all have said it all. I really don't have much to chime in with that. I think it's going to be kind of interesting going forward to see if they can produce more offensively. Because to me, it wasn't a great showing from CJ Stroud. I thought that he was okay, kind of.
He was horrible. Come on. I'm gonna be the bad guy here because I was about to bash him up right quick. You could finish being nice. He was horrible.
I was gonna say okay at best. But I think that ultimately, like, they have to be a lot better offensively going forward. Like this really hung on the defense's back.
CJ Stroud fumbled the ball 4 times and recovered 2 on his own. He lost 2. The Steelers are just horrible on offense. He fumbled the ball on his second fumble, and the Steelers recovered it on the 22nd yard line. They couldn't even score. And then I think the change of the game to me was that Stroud is just making horrible decisions with the ball and where he decides to go with it. He doesn't look special as he did with his rookie. And remember, me and you were high on him coming into the league, especially after his rookie year. But he's broken. Like, what happened to CJ Stroud? He doesn't look confident out there. And he has the weapons offensively. When you have a Christian Kirk, Christian Kirk has not been relevant in a while, and he went off. He had 8 catches, over 100 yards, something like
144 that. And the touchdown.
It's just, I think CJ Stroud, the Texans, their defense is Super Bowl ready, but that offense is just like horrible, and they carried them. Let's talk about Aaron Rodgers, right? I think the scope of the game really changed, though, and you felt the deflation come out when in the second quarter at the end when DK was streaking wide open and DK just dropped the ball. Aaron Rodgers didn't look his way again throughout the game consistently. And I think Aaron Rodgers, when he's in his prime with the Green Bay Packers, because he would do that all the time. If you drop the ball, he's not looking your way anymore. Aaron Rodgers, you're a 40+ right now. You are past your prime. You need DK to get through this game, and you have to look his way. I don't care if you have to force feed it his way. And that's the thing why I think Aaron Rodgers has to let it go. But that offense, the offensive play call over there is horrible. Or Arthur Smith from he's just not a play caller. It was just a waste, and I think the Steelers really fumbled that game, and it was only a couple plays, but that game was way closer than what the score reflects. And Aaron Rodgers, you had a strip sack fumble. Maybe you take yourself out, let the backup quarterback get in there. I don't know. The arrogance with Aaron Rodgers just pisses me off. But anyway.
Yeah, and not only that too, you had a pick 6 too. But everything I said, that place has been a mess. It came down literally. If we think about this, to a Ravens missing a easy kick, easy makeable kick. this
Yeah.
wouldn't even been a thing. We talking about Lamar Jackson and the Ravens playing right now. So, again, another team that just need to be put out of their misery this year.
Yeah. Well, news that followed us as we was putting together the topics this morning, we thought we was going to be like prognosticating the future, but we have the future. And Mike Tomlin was reported that he stepped down after 19 seasons of coaching the Pittsburgh Steelers. He was hired in 2007, the youngest at the time head coach at 34 years old to be hired. He's won a Super Bowl, won 7 division titles, 11 playoff appearances, 180 plus wins. I mean, the guy's a legend. He could retire now. I don't think that he's done. I think he got more to prove. But fellas, what he's meant to that organization, we can't bash him for what he's been at. I think the time ran out. Anything gets old after a while. And I think it was respectable that the Steelers allowed him to step down as opposed to firing him.
Yeah, I mean, I think that situation is interesting too, right? Does he step down for a year? Does he instantly find something? Because right now, the Steelers still own his rights. So if he does decide to come back, somebody else to trade for him, or they have to release his rights. So it'll be interesting to see what goes on. I will say just small nugget that in the press conference, the Ravens owner was asked by the press, would they be interested in bringing Mike Tomlin on? They say, man, wouldn't that be fun? Wouldn't that be fun? So that's a divisional thing. I don't know if they would be willing to give up compensation for him,
That'll be
but
weird.
That'd be wild to see. Like
that'll be super wild to see. But he'll be a hot name if he decided to coach this year. But my guess is he sit a year, and then decide to come back. And the Steelers allow him to go elsewhere, maybe with some type of compensation.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. I'm gonna ask y'all if you have both of them on the market, Mike Tomlin and Harbaugh on the market, who do you think is option one out there for teams?
Man, yeah, go ahead, Los.
I'm gonna just say Tomlin for me. I just some of the stuff that was kind of leaking out about Harbaugh and all the how he lost his locker room, and how Lamar Jackson was a big advocate for just letting him go. And I think I think these coaches get older and they lose the locker room, they lose touch with these players. I don't see that with Tomlin yet. I think he can still connect. I still think that he still has the juice to do it. But I'm going Tomlin.
Yeah, same here. 18 consecutive seasons with a non-losing season. You got to go him. Dude know how to win. He's a legend. I think that things just got a little boring in Pittsburgh. He just needs to change the scenery. Kind of like my guy Sean Payton. Take a year off, take a rest, and then come back.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I agree with y'all completely. 3 for 3 with Tomlin, and I think honestly, really in both situations, as y'all already said, needed a change of scenery. I think for Baltimore and I think for Pittsburgh, they've done the right thing, and I think it's going to work out for all parties involved.
Exactly. Yes, sir. So we have done that. So we got to wrap. We wrapped up Wildcard Weekend. Now it's time to look towards the future. We got some big matchups, a lot of good football. If you could sum up the playoffs in one word so far, what would you sum it up as?
Wild.
What was that word?
Wild.
Okay.
WILD. Wow.
Yeah, that's kind of tough to sum it up right quick. Yeah, let me hear your sum right quick. Huh?
I would say complex.
I'll say nail biting, putting it together.
All right. Yeah. And I think we all try to kind of saying the same thing in a sense, because it's like you don't know what's going to happen. Like there's no Chiefs here. There's no dominating dynasty of the Patriots here. It's just a lot of good football, and it really could go a lot of ways, a lot of different ways. I know we don't want to hear that because we picked the Rams to win. I know Los don't want to hear it as a Rams fan, but it's just you don't know what's going to happen. So let's get into it, man. We got it. We're going to do it round robin style again, like we did last week, the division playoffs. I'm going to go in order this time. We got the Bills and the Broncos on Saturday at 4:30 Eastern time. Who y'all got?
All right. I mean, I'll lead up. Oh, you want to go, Los?
No, go ahead. Go. You got it.
Yeah, this is a tough one for me. But I'm still gonna, I still believe in Josh Allen. I think that he is the best quarterback over there, and so I'm gonna just have to continue to ride with that. I'm going with the Bills in this one.
I'm actually going to go with the Broncos on this one. I'm gonna go with the Broncos to hold to show up and to show that they are a real team, to show that okay, we are here. I just believe in the coaching on the other side with Peyton. I think he's gonna be ready for the Josh Allen and the whole Josh Allen putting his cape on. So I'm gonna go Broncos.
I love it. I'm gonna go Bills. I gotta go with Josh Allen. I think if not for the Rams winning it all, the Bills would be my close second favorite to win it all. And it's all because of Josh Allen. So I'm gonna go with the Bills here. All right, next game we got the 49ers going to Seattle to face the Seahawks. That will be the nightcap on Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern time. Gentlemen, who you got?
I got Seattle in the close game. I think 49ers make this a more competitive game than the last game they played when they were playing for the division title and the number one seed. So I would say the Seahawks find a way to squeak this one out, but I think the 49ers will probably lead at some point during this game and make it interesting. But I think it's going to come down to the end. The Seahawks have played in a lot of close games this year, and I think they find a way to win this game, probably with a walk-off field goal.
Yeah, I like the Seahawks in this one as well too. I like that defense, and I think that Sam Darnold will do enough to get it done, especially with what JSN has represented this year. I think that he kind of has enough, offensively, especially even the way that backfield that has been operating as well too. So for me, I'm taking Seattle in this one.
I shouldn't do this because my brother is NFC West, somewhat of a guru, being that he's a Rams fan and he see this team twice, both of these teams twice a year. However, I got to go with the 49ers here, man. 49ers, they are well coached. You know, for Shanahan to bring his team to this point and beat the defending Super Bowl champions, they got to mean something, right? These teams know each other very well. So it'll only be one or two play difference in who will win. And I'm going to think that it's going to land on the 49ers side. So I'm going to go against the grain here against you guys and pick out the 49ers here. All right, next game we'll move to Sunday. Two games again. The early game. I start in order. Bear with me here as I unlock my phone. We got the Texans and the Patriots at 3 p.m. This one should go quick.
Actually, I got the Patriots.
Yeah, no, I actually we too. Huh?
He tried to throw the okie dokie. Go ahead.
Nah, I have the Patriots in this one. I just don't have necessarily enough confidence in CJ Stroud. I do love that defense over there at Houston. Like I think that defense is elite. But if you'd have asked me who I have a little bit more confidence in right now, Drake May or CJ Stroud, I'm gonna tell you I have more confidence in Drake May at this point. So I'm gonna actually take New England in this one.
I'm gonna go with New England as well. They have that home field advantage. Drake May is playing amazing. I don't think it's spoken of enough. He played very well in the wild card round. I do think that CJ Stroud is not a good quarterback, and I don't think I'm out on CJ Stroud. But that defense is amazing. But I do think the Patriots will just do a little bit more to get it done. So I'm going Patriots here. So then we'll move on to the nightcap on Sunday. I know Los is gonna have something for us here. The Rams are going to Chi-Town to face the Chicago Bears at 6:30 Eastern on Sunday. I don't know. Should we all know who we got because we picked the Rams to win the Super Bowl. So I guess we could just give our analysis of this.
Yeah, I think this game is going to turn out. I think the Rams are probably going to get up maybe 10 points, 14 points, and then find a way to let the Bears back into it. This team, the Rams have done this all year where they've shown to be dominant and get up on the team, and then the team comes back. They take their foot off the pedal. So I still think the Rams are obviously going to pull it out, but I think this is going to be a closer game again. But I do think the Rams at some point is going to get up and be like, okay, this game is over, and then the Bears find their way back in it.
Yeah, now I agree with you as far as a nail biter. I do think that this one will be a close one. Will come down to the end. I just, I'm gonna take obviously once again Matthew Stafford to be able to pull it out. I think that just that veteran presence at that QB position, and as you've already alluded to, kind of what the pick has been to be able to make it there. Now I will say I'm not 100% sure. Now, we may have to roll it back. I know I picked the Rams to get there. I'm not sure 100% if I said that they were going to win it. We might have to roll back the tape on that one in particular. I said Rams and Bills to get there. I can't remember. I don't know specifically if I picked the Rams to win it all, but maybe I did. We can roll it back, and I might have done that. But needless to say, I got them taking this game.
All right, I got the Rams too. We gonna run that back and we'll follow up. But man, look at me. I think we did it again, man. We appreciate you for rocking with us this long. The Opinionated Benchwarmers, you can find us on wherever you like to listen to your podcast platform. You can find us on YouTube. So make sure that you are subscribed, hit the bell, get notified when we drop this great content. Until next time, we are out of here.
Later.